The other week, I was playing Okami, what is considered to be one of the best Zelda games that isn't Zelda. It's received high praise across the board, so I started playing it, and the game is boring! You sit through lines of dialogue, giving the backstory of the game with a little Japanese folklore. And by the way, you know how in most games with text boxes, you can press a button to make the full text appear instead of watching the text crawl? Well, nope, not here. You need to watch the text crawl for 15 minutes before you can do anything at all. I am not exaggerating. I am playing the video at 4 times the speed, and this is how slow it is. I know you can just skip this cutscene, but what if I miss something in the story that makes me confused throughout the game? Eventually, after you start moving around, now you can skip through the text. Okay, what the hell? For about 15 more minutes, it's a lot of talking with very little gameplay. But after this introduction, the game is actually pretty enjoyable. It reminds me a lot of one of my favorite games since I was a kid, KOTOR, also known as Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which I was going to talk about, but this game refuses to record, so we're gonna talk about Kingdom Hearts! Kingdom Hearts opens up with this music video that kinda confused me when I was a kid. It's actually pretty impressive, especially graphically, and it looks like something that could come out today. When you actually start the game, you're forced to pick a weapon or power thingy. If you're playing the game for the first time, how are you supposed to know what to pick? And then you have to drop one too. This affects you for the entire game, and you have to pick at minute 1. You get a little tutorial, then you're greeted with a little BuzzFeed quiz. Cryptically enough, this actually decides how your experience will be gained throughout the game. Why is this in here? I have no idea. You fight a boss, you get a cutscene, and now this girl, Kairi, puts you on a fetch quest.
This is the first 3 minutes of the game!
By the way, some of the original characters have some questionable voice acting. You also get to fight Riku, your best friend, if you want. But he does this douchebag move where he launches himself back up and hits you. If this is your first time playing, or you're like under the age of 15, you're probably not gonna beat him. The next day you and Riku have a little race, and he literally beats me by an inch. This is actually something I like about this intro. The constant feeling like Riku is better than you is something the game wants you to feel. It sets up for some pretty neat stuff later. Later, Kairi forces you to go on another fetch quest. Let's see. I need 2 coconuts. Alright, found myself a coconut. Nope. You see, this coconut isn't good enough. No, you need these rare green coconuts. You can also fight these other kids on the island now.
Hey Sora, have you heard about the legendary power of the Paopu fruit? They say if you share it with someone you really care for, it binds you together forever and ever, through eternity. It's so romantic. I gotta try.
Yeah, that's great and all, Selfie, but I think I'd rather brutally beat you with a stick instead. Later, the island is swallowed up, Riku goes super edgelord, and now we're here. So you go into this shop, talk to Sid from Final Fantasy VII, then wander around semi-aimlessly. This is where I see most people get lost, not really knowing where to go. So get this, you have to go here, immediately walk out, go in here, immediately walk out from there, and go back into the accessory shop. Yeah, there's not really any way you're supposed to know, aside from Donald and Goofy scratching their asses, going, "Gorsh, where's Leon?" But there is absolutely nothing that leads you back into the accessory shop. I could complain about this all day, but this video would be too long. You also get to fight this guy, whose name is Leon. Even though, in Final Fantasy VIII, his name is Squall, and he's the main character, he just changes his name for some reason. This is actually a scripted boss fight. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, but I still have never won ever in my entire life against him. It looks like there's a chest over these boxes, but I can't jump quite high enough to get it. Looks like I can use this box to jump over them. The tutorial in the beginning of the game taught me how to do this. Looks like it's coming in handy now. Not quite. I know. A second box to go on top of the first. That should be high enough to... Eventually, you find Donald and Goofy, you fight this boss, then they decide to go to other worlds together.
I wonder if I could find Riku and Kairi.
Of course!
Are you sure?
Who knows? But we need them to come with us to help us find the kid.
Wait, I don't remember this. Donald Duck? More like Donald Snake. All in all, this intro lacks direction, is pretty boring, and doesn't really contain what makes Kingdom Hearts enjoyable. All of this makes Kingdom Hearts a series that is difficult to get into. While I'm on the subject, Kingdom Hearts 2, by far the best in the series, is often criticized for having a lackluster intro as well. But honestly, I couldn't disagree more. This introduction has way more direction gameplay-wise, much more mystery and intentional misdirection story-wise, and has such a big payoff. If I had to talk about how great this intro is, I'd be spoiling the series. But let's just say, if you go through some of the later games and come back to this, it won't be the same as the first time through. I will admit though, it is pretty lengthy and the writing gets pretty cheesy at some points.
Oh no! They're gone! Are gone!
All are gone?
You can't say why not?
But you do understand what I'm saying, right? Are gone!
Stolen. And not just the word. They stole it too.
That was undeniable proof that we totally owned you, lamers.
Oh, baby!
Yeah. So how do you do an introduction right? In Mega Man X, you press start, you go, that's it. I know probably all of you have watched Ego Raptor's sequelitis on Mega Man, and he talks about this intro stage a lot better than I ever could, so I won't dwell on it. But I'll link the video down below for those of you that haven't seen it. Anyway, at the end of this intro stage, you face a boss that utterly destroys you, but this guy, Zero, immediately blasts him back. Now we have a little dialogue, and you care what this guy is saying. And not because the game is telling you why you should care, they give you the reason through gameplay. In Shovel Knight, when you start the game up, you're given a very brief background story of the game, and that's everything you need to know. Now you play the game. This seems to be a theme with these older titles and games like Shovel Knight that are inspired by that era of gaming. But these games all don't have that much story, and if they do, it's not the main focus. So how do you start off a game that is story-based? In Mass Effect 2, which is, by the way, the best one in the series, you start off with immediately being shown the impact of some of your decisions from Mass Effect 1. The person you romanced in 1, you'll see them. Whoever you didn't save in 1, you're not seeing them. And already you're given at least some interaction with the game, with the dialogue choice, and being able to move about while the ship is being attacked. That's right, this is how it starts off. Not only that, but you die! Yeah, the game begins by killing off the main character, you. However, a human-led terrorist organization known as Cerberus uses all of their resources to bring you, Commander Shepard, back to life. Why? Human colonies are disappearing due to a mysterious threat, and they want you to assemble a team of the best individuals in the galaxy to stop this threat. Wow. Now that is how you start a game off. And the game constantly sates you with bits of gameplay, and then goes back to the story. For example, you move around the ship and save your pilot while it's getting destroyed. Then you go into character customization. This is how you know a game director is paying attention to what people want and what is fun. Fire Emblem is one of my favorite franchises. However, almost all of the older titles start off like this. A view of the continent's map telling you about all the different countries, the leaders of them, maybe an ancient artifact, etc. This is not a game, this is a history lecture. There is nothing that makes you care about any of this the first time you see it. And when they throw all these names and places at you, there's no way you'll remember any of it. These are typically not very long, but it's not an excuse. Eventually, a Fire Emblem game released for the GameCube, Path of Radiance, starring Ike. You know, this guy. This game showed how to start things in the right direction. Instead of seeing some map, the game starts out with Ike training with his father. By the way, this is the first Fire Emblem game with cutscenes. but the voice acting is questionable.
Missed that song.
Ah, you're up. About time.
Yeah, but don't worry, there are only a few of these in the game. Anyway, the game doesn't start out with any map of the continent, but it does have plenty of countries, different names and terms, and you don't know any of it. But neither does Ike. In fact, in the beginning, I wouldn't be surprised if Ike didn't even know the name of the country he lived in. The world of Path of Radiance is complex, but you learn it all with Ike, making it seamless. And eventually, you get to see Ike start out as a dumb kid into a hero. Lastly, I want to talk about a game with very little gameplay, a visual novel, known as Danganronpa, another one of my favorite series. This game starts off with the main character, Makoto, telling you about the high school he's about to attend. The most prestigious high school on Earth, Hope's Peak Academy. When you go there, you are set for life. The catch is, you need to be the best at something, or as they call it, an ultimate. Makoto then talks about the different ultimate students, like the ultimate baseball player, the ultimate gambler, the ultimate pop sensation, fashionista, bike gang leader, fanfic writer, and much more. But Makoto is just an ordinary kid with no special talent, so how did he get in? Well, Hope's Peak has a raffle every year and picks one incoming freshman. That student gets the title of Ultimate Lucky Student, and Makoto won just that. This, by itself, is already an interesting premise, but it goes further than that. When Makoto enters the school, he blacks out. He wakes up in a classroom, but there are cameras everywhere and the windows are closed off. He meets his classmates who are already as confused as him. We see their quirks, how their ultimate talent affects them, and their overall character. Sometimes they reject their ultimate talent. For example, the ultimate baseball player, he doesn't even like baseball. There's even one student that is tight-lipped about her talent. A little later down the line, after meeting everybody, a television has a little announcement telling everyone to go to the gym. This is when we find out that an evil teddy bear has taken over the school, and the students are stuck there. But the only way to get out is to kill another student. Yeah, this is my second time going through this game when I was recording it, and I got chills again. And when I was done, I thought that it was about 10 minutes of recording. But no, it was 30, and it flew by. This is how you start a game off. If you made it to the end of this video, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is the first video that I've ever made, and it has taken absolutely forever because I'm not very skilled at editing, and this is all really new to me, but I am excited to get started with it. And when Smash Ultimate comes out, I want to make a lot of content for that game too, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.